What if you could build a brand new civilization from the ground up? I mean, for real. Today, we're diving into a project that's trying to do exactly that, but with a really fascinating twist. This isn't about building first and asking questions later. This is a future being meticulously designed, spec by spec, all based on a massive collection of super detailed documents. And it all hangs on this one specific date, November 12th, 2025. You'll want to remember that. It's not just a random point in time. It's the anchor, the official day zero for a plan that is, well, it's breathtaking in its scope. So this really is the big question, isn't it? What if it's all already been designed? And I want to be super clear here. This is not science fiction. We are talking about a complete architectural plan, a blueprint for an entirely new way of living, all thought out and documented before a single person is hired or a single shovel hits the dirt. Okay, so before we get into all the cool tech and the nuts and bolts, we really have to understand the why. What's the philosophy here? What is the dream that's driving this absolutely massive undertaking? This line, from a piece called Ode to the Voyager, kind of sets the stage. It points us to the project's visionary, a man named Luke Nathan Hayes. And it frames this whole thing not as a cold corporate project, but as a deeply human-centric, ambitious, and, personal mission. And that mission, that dream, it has a name: joyful, responsible abundance. Now, that might sound a little abstract, but it's the North Star for everything we're about to see. It's this vision for what the documents call civilizational uplift. Basically, building a new society from the ground up based on things like regeneration, being in harmony with nature, and this really key idea of fractal sovereignty, which basically means you control your data, your identity. It's yours. So you're probably thinking, okay, huge dream, sounds great, but how on earth do you make something like that actually plausible? Well, the answer lies in some seriously powerful core technology. We're talking about a custom-built AI simulation engine. And this isn't just any old simulation. It's what's called a digital twin, a super high-fidelity, one-to-one copy of a real place. In this case, Minjariba, which you might know as North Stradbroke Island in Australia. This virtual world, Virtual Minjariba, is basically the ultimate sandbox. It lets them test every single idea, every plan, every possible future, and perfect it digitally before anyone even thinks about trying it in the real world. So how do they build this digital world? It's through something they call the generative asset pipeline. It's pretty cool. Step 1, they feed the system tons of real-world data, like 4K video and super detailed laser scans of everything. Then, a whole team of specialized AIs, a mixture of experts, gets to work analyzing and rebuilding all that data. And the final output? A perfect digital copy with crazy levels of detail, all ready to go in the simulation. And what's really smart is how they plan to use this thing. It's not just one size fits all. There are 2 ways to deploy it. First, you've got the decentralized sovereign node. This runs on a peer-to-peer network, and it's all about putting control directly in the hands of the community, the local and indigenous people. But there's also a more traditional, centralized cloud version built for big institutions or governments. So it's both grassroots and enterprise-ready right out of the box. But look, all this amazing technology, it's just code, right? It's nothing without the right people to actually make it all happen. And that brings us to the next absolutely critical piece of the puzzle, the human capital engine. Meet SetCo. That's the Strati employment and training company. You can think of it as the living heart of this entire project. It's the organization that's going to be responsible for finding, training, and managing the whole workforce, everyone from local residents to world-class international experts. But SETCO's job it's just massive. This isn't your typical HR department. They have to teach people entirely new ways of thinking. We're talking about concepts like a braided economy, which weaves together traditional and digital finance, or a try-everything-once workforce to encourage people to learn tons of different skills. They have to get people up to speed on using these advanced AIs and digital twins. They're not just filling jobs. They're literally building a new culture from scratch. And this isn't just some vague idea either. The documents lay out this incredibly detailed step-by-step plan. For the first 3 months, they just focus on the legal stuff. Then they spend another 6 months building the operational backbone. It's only after a full year that they even start bringing the first people on board. It's all about being practical, grounded, and doing it right. Now, for a project this big and this visionary, you might expect a kind of move fast and break things attitude, right? But it's the exact opposite.
This whole dream is anchored by this intense, almost obsessive focus on the rules of the game.
The entire project is guided by this one powerful concept: over-compliance. The goal isn't to just tick the boxes and meet the minimum legal standards. It's to proactively and provably go way beyond them in every single thing they do.
And how do they pull that off? You guessed it, another specialized AI. This one is a legal AI that acts as a real-time compliance checker. So every single plan, every scenario they run in that digital twin is automatically checked against a massive library of federal, state, and local laws to make sure it's not just legal, but that it's meeting that higher standard of overcompliance.
And here you can see exactly what overcompliance looks like in the real world. For employment, it's not just about meeting the minimum wage, it's about paying above award wages. For safety, it's not just about being safe, it's about getting the highest international certifications. For data privacy, it's about adopting Europe's much stricter GDPR standards. It makes the whole idea tangible. So on the one hand, you have this incredibly grand, almost spiritual ambition, right? The quest for infinity, the mapping of consciousness. And then, bam, the very next breath brings you crashing right back down to earth. The documents immediately ground that cosmic vision in the nitty-gritty reality of regulations, like the temporary skilled migration income threshold. And this contrast, this constant dance between the infinite and the immediate, is what makes this whole project so unique. So, where does all this leave us? Well, it brings us full circle, right back to that date we started with, and what it really means. And this is maybe the most crucial point of all. As of this moment, November 12th, 2025, nothing physical has been built, no company is registered, no land has been bought. This entire, incredibly complex civilization exists only inside these documents. It is a spec-driven dream, designed by a mixture of expert AIs, and it's just waiting for humans to step in and bring it to life. So there it is, the dream, anchored in thousands of pages of specs. The technology is designed, the philosophy is defined, the human systems are mapped out, the legal frameworks are in place. Everything is ready to go. The only thing missing are the people to actually do it, which leaves us with one last big question. Do you want to be one of the humans in the loop?